What's up, Family Liberty? Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug here. And I saw an opportunity to come on and give some training. I know you haven't seen me for a while. I've been MIA. I'm doing other work. That's what's happening. But I apologize for not being here enough. Big Sarge having to take the cake all by himself, and he's been doing it outstandingly. Outstanding. But it's time to give a little bit of training. You see, today we got to talk about Texas Democrats coming back home to Texas and opening the door to gerrymandering happening again. And well-meaning people have been wondering what was the point. Now, of course, you always have your agitators out there. So just to make sure that we know who we're talking to, this training, this essential training, is not for you fucking MAGA limp dick Nazis. For you fucking MAGA limp dick pedophiles whose wife got dry pussies because you ain't been attracted to her since the day she turned 15 and grew breasts. Not you. You pedophile fuck. You don't belong here. This training is not for you. If I was you, I would be looking after my wife before a drill sergeant come over there and show her how to get it wet again. Get the fuck out of here. Now that we're clear for who this training is for, the rest of you who are left, yes, today they came home. They came back to Texas. And I want you to just relax. I want you to understand what I'm about to tell you. They were always going to gerrymander. They're not just back because it was a show. They were always going to gerrymander because they have already gerrymandered, and there's just not enough of them to make a change. When the Republican Party decides that they want to genuflect to an orange God King and do what he tells them rather than what their constituents tell them because they're sick and they only care about power for power's sake. And you wonder, with all that power, Governor Hot Wheels can't get himself an electric wheelchair yet. I don't know. Still pushing it around, I guess, for sympathy. They can't get enough power. And they were never going to change it. So you ask, what was the reason? What was it for? What was it all just a show? Number one, they gave the reasons. They had two reasons as to why they would come back. And both of them, in their mind, have been fulfilled. I'll read it from Politico. Texas Democrats debated how long to stay away from the state, but ultimately laid out two conditions for their return. The legislature ends its first special session, and that the California lawmakers introduce their own map granting Democrats 5 more seats to counter Texas. Both of those occurred on Friday. So understand that the strategic portion of them leaving was accomplished. Do not despair. Don't think that it was for nothing. But even more so than what they said, even more so than the fact that now nationwide, they're going to be having these gerrymandering debates and fallouts in states that were never going to do it before, the most important thing comes from a concept called leadership. This is the training. Number one, yeah, they had a strategic purpose. They fulfilled the strategic purpose. They got the counterbalance of 5 seats in California. No, that's good. That's a win, believe it or not. They nullified the 5 seats they were gaining. But the training is in leadership. I'm going to give you an example. In politics, we have something called manufactured consent. Trump did this. And when he started in 2016, he paid actors to hold signs and say, "Go Trump 2016. That's what he did. The actors from Central Casting not only came out, but were noticed by people who hire actors from Central Casting. And for someone like him who only has a fake exterior, who only has a way to manufacture consent because not even women have given their consent to him, but he takes it anyway. This is how he lives his life. He understood what that meant for the camera. And so said, so done. Other people saw that there were people down there holding signs and unafraid to give their support to this obviously mentally backwards, slow maniac, to this idiot, low IQ, fascist, to this racist, oligarch whose money wasn't his and whose dick is as small as a mushroom. They were willing to do it, or at least it seemed like others were willing to do it, and it gave them the courage to say, yeah, I support that bullshit too. It's okay, everybody's doing it. It's called manufactured consent. Well, the other side of manufactured consent is called leadership by example. You see, there was a lot of people in Texas who wanted to speak up, who would love to go to the next version of whatever this fight is going to be, but weren't sure if they had anyone to lead them into that fight, that weren't sure if the Democrats were ever going to fight with them, and they wouldn't want to do it alone. They needed to see it. On August 7th, we found out what it means that those Texas Democrats left, that they stood up. What they sparked by leadership by example was actual consent by the people who were too scared to speak up before because they didn't know that the Democrats would have their back when they did it. They didn't know if it was even worth voting for. Watch this.
So I'd like to open with a joke. A convicted felon, a rapist, and a pedophile walk into the Texas Capitol. Then he says, just a simple redrawing, we pick up 5 seats. Actual quote, by the way. We are here today to peacefully protest this blatantly illegal power grab. And I think that this government needs to be reminded what a peaceful protest actually is, because so far, y'all have been treating it like a nuisance that you can just afford to ignore. Representative Hunter earlier was acting like allowing us to testify as some kind of favor that he's doing for us, that we should be grateful for the opportunity for him to ignore us and lie to our faces. To the contrary, you should be grateful to us, because we are your lifeline here. You see, a peaceful protest is a warning, the tide going out before the tsunami, an opportunity for you to change course, to stop this redistricting, to respect the law, to respect your constituents, to oppose authoritarianism, before you show this entire country that you are complicit with a system that is not just failing them, but is actively harming them, and that the rules don't apply anymore, that the social contract has been broken. MLK Jr. once said that a riot is the language of the unheard. I know that you don't care about us, but I have seen thousands of people plead with you to give a damn about their safety, their children's safety, and those pleas fell on deaf ears. Y'all only seem to care what Trump says. He says jump, you say how high. I'm not expecting my words to make your hearts grow 3 sizes today. My purpose here is not to appeal to your morals, because I know that that's futile. I am informing you of the situation that you have put yourselves in, and I am hoping that you are smart enough to act in your own self-interest.
Good and decent people of YouTube, family, fam of liberty. What you see there happened August 7th. This was only 3 or 4 days after the Democratic Party in that state that has been gerrymandered to all hell left. And the outcry that happened because of their leaving was what you saw there. The steel resolve of someone who knows that they're following a leader who will risk the biscuit. They're following a leader who's willing to get fined thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in order to make a statement, who's willing to leave their wife and kids or their husband and children and their grandmothers at home, and to maybe even get arrested, and to maybe even get a warrant put out. The people who saw that, they never wanted it to be gerrymandered before in Texas. They just thought that there was nothing worth fighting for. But when they saw that, they were led to go and announce to the governor and the people of the legislature, by the way, this peaceful shit is a warning. Now that we have the fight back in us, now that we've seen the fight in others who lead us, we're willing to fight harder. It took the Democrats leaving for the people to stand up. They may not be scared in that legislature now because they've never seen it before. They've never seen Jenny, the white girl with blonde hair, come through and say, by the way, this is a warning. Hot Wheels, they were used to calling it off. They were used to saying, oh, that's just that ghetto bitch. That's just that Jasmine Crockett. They were used to doing that because there's so much racism. There's so much that they've been relying on it. They've been relying on it to win elections, that and gerrymandering. And the other the other fine folks, the other black folks was too downtrodden to care, and the other white folks was too scared to say something because they didn't have a Democratic Party nationally or just visually that they thought could really be worth fighting for or that would have their back until they picked up and left. They put something on the line. What you saw there was the beginning of the uprising that would not have been if they didn't leave. So when you ask yourself today, what was it all for? Remember the clip I showed you. There's many more, and I'm going to put the link down there to the person who records these clips and sees what these people have been saying to the state legislature, not their county town halls. They've been going up there. They've been motivated because while the Republicans have to manufacture consent in order to get people to agree to their filth, Democrats only have to lead, and the consent is already there. They just want someone to lead them into battle. That's why it mattered. Don't forget that. Don't lose hope. I will see you on September 2nd, because we will not lose hope. We will not need to manufacture consent. We will use the truth to lead the people the way we already know they want to go. They're just waiting for a leader. I got you. Training completed. You're dismissed. If you made it all the way to the end without giving up, type in that comment section, Drill Sergeant, I made it, Drill Sergeant. Oh, yeah. What time is it?
And now it's time for the throw punch!